The pen is mightier than the sword, or 46664, is a very simple work in that it's a to-scale model of the cell that Nelson Mandela spent 18 hours a day in, at least, for 18 years of his 26 years of incarceration. He was on the Robben Island for 18 years. I was on the island when I saw them preparing for the World Cup in 2010. And I think they were having an exhibition match or something. And I saw them kind of bailing this up into skips, the old Robben Island prison fencing, the very fencing that incarcerated people like Nelson Mandela and Ahmed and a whole host of political prisoners. But I had developed a keen eye through my undergrad work of seeing value in something that where other people saw discard or no value. The story is based on something of no value, and then seeing the value of it and transforming that value perception into a marketplace, and being able to expose the intrinsic value of what this stands for. The work itself is set up in the title. The pen is mightier than the sword. There's a play between the pen as the penitentiary or the pen as in the script, you know, the university. In fact, I love how people are able to use adversity to their advantage. And in this case, the blueprint of our democratic South Africa was formulated on the island. The discussions between the founders of the new South Africa were formulated on that island. In fact, in Xhosa, they used to speak of Robben Island as Makanda, the university. It's such a keen commentary on South Africa. It's the South African Berlin Wall. You know, it's the barrier. But it's not only the barrier; it's also the coming down of the barrier. It's the liberation. It's both stands for dark and light. And it's keenly attached to Nelson Mandela. You know, in the story of Nelson Mandela, it's keenly attached to South Africans and the birth of the Rainbow Nation against all odds. Without going into civil war. It has a sense of intrinsic value to our past. It has a great sense of value into a metaphor to our possible future or liberation. So there's all those aspects, you know. So it's my own journey, but it's our collective South African journey, but it's also the world's journey. It's the Second World War, it's conflict, it's resolution. Having this incredible resource or material to be able to, as a platform, to talk about the new South Africa. So South Africa is a place of contrast and duality, and I'd be naive if I didn't understand my whiteness in this country. I'm an African, but I'm a white African. You know? And so, what is my role here? I had dual citizenship, and I was 6 years in London, and I could have taken a direction in safety or a sense of safety in a first world country. But it doesn't change where I'm born and who I am. I'm South African, and any other country is not my home. So I'm understanding myself, which is helping me to reevaluate my own country. And then also it's been tough, but also having to swallow good intention and understand what I represent, no matter how liberal my heart or my sense of view may be. In South Africa in particular, I believe that there hasn't been dialogue. Many people are not able to progress because they don't feel heard. They don't feel got. Someone didn't understand them. If you don't feel valued, you don't feel like you can contribute. So there's an abuse that continues in this country. And until those conversations are had, until people's points of view are taken into account, heard, no real great achievement can be had. And it was teaching for 2 years at a high school in Cape Town, where I was worried for the future of these kids. Where would they find their jobs? What education could guarantee an outcome? And then just seeing in their eyes, they hadn't learned the limits of no yet. Everything was possible. The young adults were able to give me a sense of hope, and that's a great perspective to work from. Anything is possible, and it becomes your reality. The kind of art that I make, it's environmental. Wanting to preserve South Africa, or the place that I grew up in. I mean South Africa in a global sense, in what's left here, in its unexploited nature. And I've shifted from preservation to a sustainability approach, because I think preservation still sits very solidly in the protection, ownership, fear-based fencing, these things. It's not a sharing. Sustainability is a more realistic, a more reasonable response to the population explosion versus the kind of remaining land resources, and how we all work together to get the best out of that. In that little melting pot of understanding is the global village understanding. South Africa is a microcosm of the world. I really think our challenges here and the answers to those challenges are the answers to the world's challenges.